Did you know that we have disparity in the academic calendars of primary and secondary school which are public owned in Nigeria? While some are set to resume for the first term of the 2020-2021 academic session, others are set to resume for the second term of the 2020-2021 academic session. Welcome to another interesting episode of Daily Drip. This is a program where we discuss issues and events that help speed your productivity. My name is Shamsuddin Giddado. So let's look at the issue. At the wake of the coronavirus, schools, primaries and secondary schools are in their second term of the 2019-2020 academic session. But unfortunately, schools were locked down because of the pandemic was biting harder. That's the first wave of the coronavirus. So schools had to shut down and students had to go home. So while students who attend private-owned primary and secondary schools had to move on with the academic calendar, courtesy of the online learning program, the schools which are public owned, that's the primary and secondary schools which are public owned, had to resort to home learning, that is courtesy of radio and television program which are sponsored by some state governments. So now the issue is at sort of the end of the lockdown, schools were set to resume. So while others had to match up with their calendar to hasten up, others are still sticking with the original calendar without no hesitation at all. So let's get this picture clearer. We'll look at states and how they've been able to fare. So we'll take FCT first. The Federal Capital Territory, which is the city center here of Nigeria, at sort of the end of the first lockdown, schools were set to resume. And unfortunately, the the public primary schools teachers were on strike. They went on strike, and that made the schools to be under lock and key for an extra 1 month, while the secondary schools in the FCT, that is the public-owned secondary schools, FCT, continued with the academic session. So they started their own third term. So, but unfortunately, when they had to resolve the strike and the students had to come back, they only had a week for resumption, and they had to continue with the examination for the second term, and they resumed back immediately, ran 3 weeks of first term, and ran another examination, and now they are set to go back to school on the 18th of January 2021. Now, that's the issue of the primary schools and secondary schools in the FCT. Unlike in Niger State, Kwara State, Borno State, and Kaduna State, they continued with their third term and fully completed the third term academic session, the third term of the 2019-2020 academic session, and now they are set to resume for the first term of the 2020-2021 academic session. Now, this is what happens in the states. Now, let's go down to the southern states. We have states like Osun State, to be precise, now on resumption at in January 18. They are to complete their first term examination, and they are set to resume for second term. While Lagos State is resuming for second term, Oyo states are to scrapped third term, and they are also set to resume for second term now. And so also in Enugu State, to be precise, they also ran at the end of the lockdown. They came back, ran third term, and they also ran first term simultaneously immediately after the third term, and now they are set to resume for our second term. So this is how the academic calendar has been staggering across the country. Now, the Federal Ministry of Education has actually come out to say that they don't have the powers to actually enforce that. But the issue here is these students and pupils across the country have a unifying examination, nationwide examinations that they write together. And that is where the issue is. How do we harmonize these issues? How do we make sure that as of when the WAEC and NECO examinations are coming, when are they supposed to write the examination? Because with the staggering calendar now, we have students who some are in SS2 first term, while some are in SS2 third term. Some people that are supposed to be in SS3 are in SS3 first term, whilst yes, they are in SS2 third term, while some are in SS3 first term, and they're expected to write the same examination. So analysts have actually profiled solutions on the possible way forward. So one of such is to see how we can have possibly a national conference to sit down a round table and discuss the possible way forward, and see to how all these calendar can be regularized so that it can be easy for states across the country to have a unifying examination at the same time, like we do have, where the exams run concurrently in all parts of the country. Another idea is the idea of homeschooling. Some people have actually come up with the idea of homeschooling, that you can sit the students who are of some particular age can actually be at home while not coming to school, so that they at the time when they are up to the age of learning, they can come back to school and learn. A monitoring and evaluation system that will help to monitor the activities of both primary and secondary schools. Now, according to the National Policy on Education that we have, which is the last time it was reviewed, was the one that is in use now, was as of that of 2004. So we have 9 years of basic education and 3 years extra of secondary education. So which makes it that we have, like, from JS from primary 1 to primary 6 and JS1 to JS3, that's the 9 years of basic education, and the 3 years of senior secondary school education. Now, they've actually come to argue that all these should be looked holistically and in more unifying and in more realistic years of learning should become up with, so that it will help ease the affairs of people, students, and across the country. I will meet up with the 21st century academic session, like academic realities. And another last option that analysts have actually argued is the fact that we need to have what we call a realistic to e-learning system, where students can sit at the confines of their home and learn. So these are the thoughts that analysts have actually argued that if we are able to look at this holistically, it can help to build and refashion what we're currently experiencing, which is a lack of uniformity of academic calendars in primary and secondary schools in Nigeria. So thank you for watching today's episode of Daily Drip. We hope you got value from this. Click on the subscribe button and try to like us on all our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My name still remains Shamsuddin Abdrazak Giddado. Thank you.